decades-long occupation. On the occasion of the Universal Children's Day, Palestinian Foreign Ministry said that generations of Palestinian children have been subjected to terror, injustice, and insecurity by Israel. The ministry said that more than 50 children have been killed and over 900 detained by Israeli soldiers so far this year. It said currently there are some 270 children in Israeli jails who are subjected to torture, solitary confinement, and other inhumane practices. The ministry also urged the international community to uphold its responsibilities toward Palestinian children by holding Israel accountable for its illegal actions. And joining us now to Berkeley, California is Mr. Paul LaRudy, co-founder of the Free Palestine movement. Hello, Mr. LaRudy. These statistics, you would think, pale in comparison to the fact that, what it fails to mention is that these kids from a very young age realize they are a marginalized citizen living, on an occupied, they realize from day one that they are going to live a subclass type of life on their own stolen land. And that has to be almost, more daunting than the scores that are killed and they end up in, these Israeli prisons.
The children, Palestinian children, grow up in a very strong society with very strong familial and social bonds. They grow up in some ways with better mental health than people in Western societies that don't have to be faced with death and destruction raining from the sky all the time. It's true that, of course, it's when they suffer real trauma during times of warfare, when they lose members of their families, and especially close members, then it can be very damaging to their psyche. But let's not forget that when we talk about generations of Palestinian children, some of those generations are grown, they exist, and they are functional, and they function very well, thank you. It's only the society, the economy that does not function well. And so I have a lot of confidence. It is possible to destroy the social bonds of a society, but it takes a lot more than what the Israelis have done until now.
And you mentioned their mental state from a very young age. But, they don't live, and you compare to kids in the West, but kids in the West, they're not politically, conscious at 8 years old. But unfortunately for a Palestinian kid, from the time he's 5 or 6 or 7 years old, he has to understand the political reality, the geopolitics of where he lives. And these are, things, the luxuries a kid in the West, he has the luxury of not having to deal with stuff, he or she, with that kind of youth.
Yes, these children do, and they're facing things that they should not have to face. And Israel is actually, to a very large extent, targeting the children. It's a way of getting at the families, of blackmailing the families, of threatening the children in order to get compliance from the parents. But I can't imagine that this is going to work. We saw with the case of Ahad Tamimi, for example, that when she went to jail, she was absolutely defiant, and then members of her family have been killed and maimed as a result of this. She's not giving up, and the result will be a Palestinian society that is ready to do resistance even more than their mothers and fathers are.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Paul. Mr. Paul LaRudy, their co-founder of the Free Palestine movement there, joining us out of Berkeley, California.